Good evening, everybody. It's a long night, but I just want to start with a couple of thank yous. And the first thank you I just want to start off with is this table of young ladies over here, these two tables of young ladies over here. This year was a lot of fun, especially after last year. COVID stuff, shortened season, nobody in the stands, worrying every day about being shut down and so forth. And no county tournament, no state tournament. You just try to play as many games as you can, make the most of it. It was just kind of blah. It just didn't feel like a real season. It was nice to be able to play. At the time, I was grateful for it. But for me, more than anything else, this year it really kind of brought the joy back for me in coaching and so forth. And these young ladies over here really played a huge role on the side. Thank you for that. Yes, it's your Rachel. Oh, yeah. The Booster Club, I know Mac mentioned it, and I just want to piggyback on him a little bit, but Pam and Chris, Betsy, Nicole, Sue, and all the other parents that got involved in the Booster Club. First of all, the cafeteria looks wonderful tonight. Great job setting up in terms of this, with the beefsteak, and senior night, some of the parents in terms of the pasta dinners and so forth. I do appreciate it so much. And, we had new leadership this year, and, it's hard time to all of a sudden take over a program. Everything's been going on in the last 2 years with COVID and everything, but really a tremendous job. Easy to work with and on top of everything. And, so thank you so much for everything you guys have done this year. I do appreciate that. I'd also like to thank all the parents. The girls we get a lot of support in the stands. We're very supportive of the coaching staff and the girls and so forth. It's great, especially to have you guys back this year, both home and away games. It's always appreciated. It's wonderful to see everybody up there. I always say it every year, West Milford travels well, and we almost always, with maybe the exception of the Dumont State game, we always outnumber the fans, from the other side, which is always great to see. Two parents in particular, I just want to point out, first of all, a big thank you to Mrs. Gruber, who worked the book this year. Also, Mr. Fritz as well, for saving the varsity book club. I didn't really realize this, but I was on the side negotiating with both of their agents, and I locked them into multi-year deals. I love the compensation package, it's fantastic. But thank you very much. Mrs. Gruber, this is for you. This is what I deal with. That's why I look the way that I look. I want to thank as well Joe Srinicosta, Kathy as well, and the AD and Kathy, our athletic secretary. They did a tremendous job, very supportive of me, the coaching staff, and the girls. And just want to thank Meg and Marco as well, our trainers. Certainly a big shout out to them. Like Max said, again, just feel very confident whenever they're there, and having the girls being able to see them is always a big thing. We always have had that with our trainers, so it's important. It's been a great thing. I also want to take a little point out as well with the boys staff at MAC this year. Did a tremendous job, I thought. He's talking about watching me, even for me watching him. You should always learn. He mentioned this being my 25th year. I want to thank him for that. Made me feel a little young. It's actually my 30th. And I've been doing this for 30 years. And, Mac is coaching now. I coached Mac when he was the fast break when he was a little kid. That's how long I've been around for it. But same with Tyler as well, for that matter. So it's great to watch them at this point in time. Like I said, we work well together. With all the things with scheduling and wrestling is home, and who's got a short practice today, and who's going to go first, and who's going to go second. So that is really easy to work with. And like I said, I thought he did a tremendous job. So appreciate that very much. I'd like to thank my coaching staff as well. Coach Grimshaw, who I've mentioned each year, who played for me. It was really, for me as a coach, and I say this every year because I mean it, there really is no better joy for me than to be able to coach someone who I actually coached. She does a tremendous job. It's our 11th season together now, which is kind of amazing when I reflect on it. Coach Vilko, as well, as he said in his speech, I wouldn't forget, our 15th year together. There should be an award up here for me for 15 years with Vilko. It's been fantastic. I joke, but the thing is, like I said before, I love working with Ed, Nicole as well. They're both very strong-minded and opinionated, and I appreciate that. Because I like hearing different things. I don't want someone who's always going to tell me what I want to hear all the time. They can't agree with me all the time. So Ed and I, we're very comfortable with each other, just to say the least, in terms of being able to speak our minds. Also, a big addition this year, which I was very grateful for, is Danielle Gardner. This year. Danielle was with me for a couple of years prior, and then she stepped away, started a family, so forth, those things. And she wanted back in, and I'm really happy that she's in the building, which is a big thing. So I do appreciate it a lot. Last but not least, we're not here tonight, but I want to thank my wife and my kids. Hard for them to make games this year because my kids are playing games. In fact, my daughter had a game tonight. My wife is driving around doing all that kind of stuff while I'm here doing my thing as well. So I do appreciate that. Like I said, she's not here, but if anybody sees her, make sure you tell her that I mentioned her name in the English street cred. As far as the season goes, and so forth, I'm going to say this word, and I mean this word in the most positive way possible. And the word is frustrating, all right? And I mean this in a positive way, in a sense that, and the girls and I, we talked a lot about this year, about some of the ways we fell a little short, and some of the things that we need to work on. And, the bottom line is, it's not just physical, but it's the mental as well. And this week, for example, I went to the state sectional finals for Group 2, our section. Watched Jefferson host Dumont, who we lost to in the first round of states. Jefferson killed them. I was shocked. I mean, I wouldn't have believed it if I wasn't there. I didn't think Jefferson could win, but it was, I expected a closer game than that. But it was 44-17 at halftime. And the Dumont girls were all seniors who were 25-3 going into that game and were killing everybody all year, including us. They were in tears in the second quarter because they knew it was over. And the fact of the matter was they didn't handle the situation well because they had never been in that situation before. This is the first time all year those girls had been getting their butts kicked. And as I'm watching this, I was thinking about our team and some of the lessons that we learned this year. And I talk about this. It's what makes you better, going through some of the things that we went through this year as a young team, an inexperienced team. And those are the things that I hope will help us going forward. All right? And I talk about the frustrating part because, to be honest with you, and I said this before the season started, and I meant it, and I still mean it now, this is the most talent that I've had here in a couple of years, easily the most athletic team I've had in a couple of years. And the thing that I loved about this team, what I'm always thrilled about, was that the energy that we brought every day in practice, the enthusiasm, the chemistry of this varsity team was off the charts. I don't know if I've had a team in recent memory, to be honest with you, that got along better, that enjoyed each other's company more, that had fun together, that shared the ball, that played well together, and those sorts of things. So that was, for me, the frustrating part, because I wanted that to translate to more wins at times. And we did some really good things this year. But my hope is that, I know the seniors, like I said before, have a lot of positive memories, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But for the girls that are coming back, those are the things that we have to build from. The fact of the matter is, if you look at what we did, some of the schedule that we played, in terms of the respect that we got, not just in terms of the season, but even the postseason meetings that I went to. And I remember the Lakeland game where we lost the second time around. It was a close game, and we just kind of fell apart in the fourth quarter. And the guy repping that game is a guy I've known for 30 years, and one of my favorite guys. And the game was over, we had lost, and I was in not in a good place mentally at that time. He walked past me, he goes, "Ray, I really like your team." And I go, "Thanks, Mike, I appreciate that." You know, it's kind of like, "Thank you, appreciate it," you know, that sort of thing. And he stopped for a second, he goes, "No, seriously, Ray, I'm not blowing smoke right here. I know we've known each other a long time." He goes, "I really, really like your team. I like how they play, I like how they share the ball, I like got a lot of talent here, got a really good team." And I've heard that a lot this year, I really did. So that was really a good thing. You know, we did achieve a lot of the goals that we did set for ourselves this year. We talked about before the season that we wanted a home county game, which we got. We were 6th seed in the county, and we had a home county game where we blew out Passaic Charter, which was probably our best game of the year. We went on to play Eastside in the quarterfinals. We lost a really close game, in a game, quite honestly, we deserved to win. Did the rest of that game come tonight, by the way? I invited them. Trying to buy some brand new boys against this thing next year. But in any case, yeah, right. But anyhow, you know, we lost 46-40 to a team that ultimately went on to beat Wayne Hills and Wayne Valley and won the county championship this year, Eastside. And we had them on the ropes, and to be honest with you, I played them that day, you know, and deserved better than we got. We reached the states this year, maybe not as high a seed as we would have liked, but it is the 10th year in a row. You know, last year there were no state tournament, we would have made it had there been one, so I'm counting. You know, but 10 years in a row now we've made the state tournament. Not a lot of teams that can say that, so I'm very proud of that. We were, like I said, a very competitive team, earned a lot of respect, and you know, Mac talked about the tough schedule that West Milford plays. It's true with the girls as well. You know, we played 25 games this year. I was looking at it this dinner and stuff like that. 25 games this year. 22 of the 25 games that we played this year were against teams that made the state tournament. We only played 3 teams all year that didn't make the states, and that's not an easy schedule when it comes to that. So I think the next step would, you know, for next year is to, you know, get to some of the things we want to do and learn from some of those close wins that we had this year, like over Indian Hills and Cresskill, who would be, you know, Cresskill we beat this year, made it to the state sectional semifinals in Group 1. You know, a nice win over Passaic Valley. You know, beat Pompton Lakes in what was a great game. You know, and some of the close losses we had as well. So I'm excited for the future, and here's why. So let's talk about some of the players in this game. You know, Coach Grimshaw, Coach Milko talked about the JV and freshman seasons that they had, and there's a lot of girls sitting out here, you know, who are already up here that we're really counting on going forward. I'm excited about that. Before I bring the girls up, there's 2 girls I do want to mention specifically. I'm not going to have them come up. They've been up here a couple times already, so I'll let you sit and relax. But I want to mention Allie Gruber and Lily Kreutzer. Both, you know, played basically all 3 levels this year, but both young ladies got some varsity